Right. We did NATing, the first type, static NAT. It was one-to-one NAT and bidirectional. The other two are unidirectional. If you want to translate for inside to outside, you write one NAT. And if you want to translate from outside to inside, you need to write another NAT, which is unidirectional. You have to write another one. Whereas in the static NAT, we did not write two NAT statements. It was only one NAT. Only one NAT. Static NAT is bidirectional. These two type of NAT, one called as dynamic NAT, another one called as dynamic NAT overloading, also called as PAT, port address translation. Both are unidirectional. You need to write two NAT statement, as I said, if you want for both direction, in to out and out to in. Our focus is not out to in. If it is needed, we write static NAT, which we learned earlier. Out to in, not everyone prefers. Will you accept someone from outside pinging into your devices? No. But you would like to go to Yahoo, YouTube, and to the rest of the internet world. But you do not want the world, the network world, to get into your network. You call it as what? Threat. You call it as what? Attack. You call it as what? Intruder. You don't like. So don't worry about out to in. Let us focus on in to out. By the end of this lab, what you should see is whenever these computers ping this address, you will get reply. But when you ping from here, the ping won't happen because it is out to in. We don't do translation. But you can ping from in to out with the translation. Let's do translation. Two type of translation that we are going to see. Number one, dynamic NAT. What is dynamic NAT? As the word says, there is going to be a mapping of address dynamically determined. Meaning, let's say this is 10.0.0.1. Okay. Now, in dynamic NAT, you need collection of address. We call it as address pool. Let us say I have addresses like 200010. This is address pool. And these two addresses are given by your ISP, your service provider, your internet service provider. So now anyone can use any of this address. That is why it is dynamic NAT. Anyone can use any of this address. For example, let's say this is C. C means what? 10003. B, and this is A. If C tries to go online, the first address will be given, which means, wait, let me make it small. You see, C is talking to internet. So 10003 will be replaced by 200010. And now if B talks to internet, 10002 will be replaced by 200011. And if A wants to talk to internet, there is no address. Only two addresses already used. This two address is already used. When A wants to go online, the third person, because there is no address in the pool available, A has to wait till someone finish. Let's say now C finishes its conversation. C finished talking. Now A will be given that address. You see, earlier C was using this address. Now A is using this address. So if someone is trying to talk from outside, it won't go to A or C. Why? Because this is not static. This address is not always binded to A. Sometimes C is using, sometimes A is using, sometimes B is using. That is why it is not bidirectional. Out to in is not allowed, only in to out. Another point that we learned is if you have two addresses in the pool, only two devices can go online. The third person should wait for someone to release the address. The third computer needs to wait till someone finish their conversation. If 10.0.0.2 finishes the conversation, then 10.0.0.1 will be given that 20.0.0.1 address. See, earlier 10.0.0.1 was using this address. Now it is using this address. That's why it is dynamic NAT. Any available address will be assigned. Any available address will be assigned. There is no fixed address to map. Do you understand? In all type of NAT, you can, if you want, you can use this interface address also. Let's say you don't have address pool. Service provider ISP did not give you. Then you can use this address. In that case, if it is dynamic NAT, only one can go online at a time because you got only one address to map. Others need to wait. Even in static NAT, you can use this address. In static NAT, which you did, you said IP, NAT, source, static, and you say 10.0.0.1 should be mapped to 20.0.0.2. What if this address is not given? Then you can say interface. That's a command you go and check later. Interface G0/0/1, which means it will use this address to map. This address will be replaced by 20.0.0.1 because of this configuration. Now let us say for this A, I want this dedicated interface address, and for this too, I want to use the pool. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Now you know, you see, no one can, no one need to wait. For this one, I have given a dedicated address from the interface. And for the other two, I create a pool with two addresses given by ISP. One is 20.0.0.10, another one is 20.0.0.11. And this address is not statically mapped. Whoever comes first, let's say 10.0.0.3 comes, that will take this first address. And then 10.0.0.2 comes, it will take this address. If 10.0.0.1 comes, it will take the physical interface address because you have said use physical interface. Now let us say there is no address pool used, no one used it. If A is talking now, will it be using the pool address or the interface address? It will be the interface address always. Even though the pool address is empty, free, available. For A, you have given a dedicated address, so that will be preferred. Did you understand dynamic NAT? You can mix static NAT with the dynamic NAT. Like as I said, for A, I want to give a dedicated address. And for the rest, I want to use the pool. Yes, it is possible. Fine. Now, we are in what topic? Why so long time you are taking for this simple answer? Natting. For this natting, access list is going to be used. So you should not have confusion whether today's class was access list or natting. See, it is natting only, but we are going to use access list to do this dynamic NAT. For dynamic NAT, you need access list. Why? Because I'm going to say if any of this two comes, use the pool. And if this comes, use the interface address. So I'm going to have a static NAT, which you already know, for A. For the rest of the computer, I may have another D also. For all others, I'm going to use pool. For that, I will write an access list matching these three. Access list will standard access list will match these three, and I'll call that access list not to block or permit someone, but to say if this is matching, use the pool. For that case, I'm going to use the access list for matching traffic. Do you understand? For matching the source so that I can use the pool, I'm going to use access list along with the natting. Is that clear? And also we need to create pool. Let's see one by one. As I said, I'm going to add another computer. And this will be 10.0.0.1/16, or let us leave it as 8. And this will be 10.0.0.4. For all this, I'm going to give gateway 10.0.0. That's the router's address. And in this side, it will be 20.0.0.1. And here, 8. So, this is the plan. Let us assume this 10.0.0.4 is the very important person in your office. I want to give him a dedicated address. So 10.0.0.4 will use 10.0.0.4 will use the interface gig001, which is 20.0.0.1. For others, we'll use pool that is going to have 20.0.0.10 200011. This is the plan. So we are going to create pool, and then we are going to write one static route. For dynamic for static NAT, we are going to have the physical interface mapped. For dynamic NAT, we are going to map the pool, but the pool has got only two addresses. But how many are there to use the network? Three. So all three cannot work at the same time. Only two at a time. There's only two addresses in the pool. Did you get this? Let us go to these computers and put IP address. N.0.0.10 is the gateway. You see router's address. I'm giving us a gateway. Assigned to. Likewise. Right. So PCs are ready. Now let's go to the router side. The address on G000 is 10.00.10. Okay. IP address is assigned. Let's go to the internet router and assign the IP address. That's all. Now, if you ping from the species to the internet, the ping will not happen. Let me ping and show you. The ping won't happen because you don't have root. From in1, from in2 also I'll ping. Sorry, this is 10.0, not 10. I should ping 20. You don't ping. So if you see, all shows request timeout only. Yeah. So we will not be able to ping. Let us write the first NAT, static NAT, which you already know. Listen carefully. You no need access list for writing static NAT, but you had to go to the interface and first say the direction IP NAT inside. Done. Secondly, as usual, you say IP NAT so inside source static. I want to translate 10004, isn't it? You see, you want to translate 10004 to this address 20001. You can give 20001, or you can also use the oh sorry, this particular packet tracer don't support interface name, but in the real device you can say interface. Anyhow, I can type the IP address directly. Yeah, this is the address not in the pool but in the interface. Yesterday we were using an address which is not in the interface. That is also, you don't need to create a pool for that because it's just one address they give, which you did in the lab. So static NAT is done. So whenever this 10004 tries to go online, only this address will be given. Nothing from the pool will be given. Now let us create the pool. IP NAT pool. I'm going to give a name. Some name. I'm going to say collection. And then what is the starting address? 200010. That's what we discussed, 10. And then what is the end address? 200011. What is the mask? 255000. That's all. Pool is created. So in the NAT statement, you need to use this collection to call the pool address. Understand? This is not dynamic NAT. I'm trying to show you I can have both coexist, dynamic NAT and static NAT. This is dynamic NAT. This is one of the step in dynamic NAT. This one, NAT inside and NAT outside, is common for all NATing. So for dynamic NAT, this is the new step. The only step you have learned in dynamic NAT is this. Other things you have already done earlier in static NAT class. So we have the pool. Next, as I said, you need to write an access list. Access list 10 permit host 10001 and then 10002 and then 10003, isn't it? This 3. For this 3, I'm going to say use the pool. But in the pool, there is only 2 address. Any first 2 which comes will be using the pool. See, 10 means what? This 3 address. If I call this access list 10. Now, ready for NAT configuration, dynamic NAT configuration. Listen, IP NAT So inside, traffic is coming from inside. The source is list. Which list? This access list. Whoever matches this list, they should use, okay, here you see the interface command. You can also say use this interface address. If you have only one interface address, no pool, then you say interface. If you got pool, which is called collection, use the pool. That's it. You see, whoever is coming from this address, this means what? This. Can you use the pool? What does that pool got? These two address. This is what called as dynamic NAT. Did you understand? No, 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 no. This can be 11, 12, 13, anything. You need to call, if you say 11 here, then you should say 11 here. This is no way related to the address number. This is the access list ID that we give. Got it? Now, you see here, show IP NAT translation. It will show you only static. It won't show you dynamic unless you ping. It says if traffic is coming from the special guy 10004, only then I'll use this address. But if I will ping from this guy 10001, see what happens. The ping will happen, but it will be from the pool. See, the ping is happening, and if you ask, it says I have given the address from the pool. For 10001, I have given this address. This address is from the pool. Do you agree? It is not the interface address. And now, if I will ping from a next computer, it is going to give next address in the pool. It's pinging. Now check. It is given 11. For 10002, it is translated to 20011. 10001, it is translated to 20010. Now, I finish pinging, which means both addresses are available. If I will now ping from 10003, maybe the first address will come. It can give any address available. Okay, I'm able to ping. Let's see what address it has given. Only if it is available, it will give. It is available. See, I was pinging. It has given the first address. Earlier, 20010 was with whom? 10001. But now it is with whom? 10003. That is why you cannot do bidirectional. எவங்கிட்ட எந்த அட்ரஸ் எப்போ இருக்கும்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கம்ப்யூட்டர் கிட்ட பிங் பண்றதா நினைச்சுக்கிட்டு இந்த அட்ரஸ் பிங் பண்ணீங்கன்னா அது தேர்ட் கம்ப்யூட்டருக்கு போகும். அதனால அலோவ் பண்றது கிடையாது. Okay, only one direction. So if you try pinging from here, from the internet, it won't ping. Ping 2000 pool 11 address. It won't ping. There is no opposite direction. Okay, so now if I will ping from this computer, which is special computer, the static netting will happen. You see, that static netting has happened. 10004 means it will not use the pool, it will use the interface address that we have. 20001. But mostly in the production, for static net, they will not use interface address. They'll buy some dedicated address and give. Did you understand? Dynamic NAT. Hmm. Good question. I have 1,000 devices inside my organization. Do I need to buy 1,000 public IP address from the internet service provider? No. First of all, you no need to buy. If you try buying also, they won't give because there is no IPv4 address available now. Then for static NAT, yes, you have to do mapping one to one. You need to buy one address and you can map. No other go for static NAT. If I have 10 computers to map with a fixed IP address, you have to do this for all 10 one by one. But for dynamic NAT, you are not going to map one by one. You're just going to create a pool. I'm saying from 10 to 11. Not all 1,000 employees in your organization is going to talk to internet all the time. So from ISP, you will get one or two IP address or five IP address. Put it in this pool and map all the 1,000 computers in the access list and take the access list, map it to the pool like this. 1000 கம்ப்யூட்டர் இருக்குது. அவர் கேள்வி நான் திருப்பி சொல்றேன். 1000 கம்ப்யூட்டர் மேப் பண்ணி உட்காந்துருக்குமா? ஆமாங்கோ. ஸ்டாட்டிக்கா இருந்தா மேப் பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும். ஆனா ஸ்டாட்டிக்கு 1000 ஐபி எங்க போவீங்க? எவனும் கொடுக்க மாட்டான் காசு கொடுத்தா கூட. 1000 பேரும் எப்பவுமே இன்டர்நெட் போக மாட்டான். அதனால என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, கொஞ்சம் அட்ரஸ் 4, 5, 3 அப்படின்னு வாங்கி அதை பூல்ல போட்டு அந்த 1000 அட்ரஸை ஆக்சஸ் லிஸ்ட்ல மேட்ச் பண்ணி சோர்ஸை அந்த ஆக்சஸ் லிஸ்டையும் இந்த பூலையும் இந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ல மேப் பண்ணி விடுவோம். அர்ஜுன், கேள்வி இருக்கா? Right. Now, if I have 1,000 employees and only two addresses in the pool, 998 people cannot use. Only two people can use at a time. Won't that be a problem? Yes, it will be a problem. There will be delay because everyone should wait till the two address or one address get released. In such cases, we will go for the third type of NAT, which is called PAT or NAT overload. Which is very simple. If you do this NAT, the next NAT is very simple. So I'll stop here. First, you do this one and come.